This is Duke University.
I'm an entrepreneur in Silicon Valley. I live in San Jose, and I'm starting my second company. So I started a company, learned how to build it, built it. It was acquired by Disney, and then I'm off to do my next one.
Duke was all about making good decisions for me, and public policy studies was a major that I thought just touched so beautifully, brought so many important things together that ultimately allowed me to understand what a good decision looked like. No decision is truly risky if it aligns with who you are and what you want. Became the foundation of the Regret-Free Life framework, which is who you are, what you want, aligns with what you do.
Right after graduation, I worked for Target Corporation in Minneapolis doing inventory management. So I actually bought garlic, tomatoes, avocados, potatoes, and onions for the entire Target chain. So that was my job. I was responsible for the inventory. And then after about a year and a half on that team, I moved to the pharmacy team in Target and did more kind of vendor management relationship there. And then actually just moved over to CVS to do pharmacy operations about 4 months ago.
When I was at Duke as a sophomore, I actually got a job as a college rep for a major label out of New York. So when I graduated, I had a couple of job opportunities based on that experience, and came out of school, worked for a record company, and that was my first of 3 record companies. So I spent a lot of time in the music business, which was terrific. And 5 years ago, I made a change. I went from music to sports. Still entertainment, but very truly different businesses. But I really am incredibly fortunate to be able to be involved in 2 things that I'm fans of and incredibly passionate about. A lot of students ask, what's the formula? How do you figure things out? And I think it can sound like a cliche to say, follow your passion and do what you love, but I truly feel like that's what's driven me to where I am, and I see that in lots of other people.
Fail fast and move on is the advice that I would give. You really don't have to worry about failure today. It's the long-term game, right? So not doing well in a class that you weren't sure you should have taken, or not doing as well as you would have liked in an activity that you participated in, isn't a real failure. It's just an opportunity to succeed later. Find
great mentors. It was the timely influence of really smart, really caring people at key inflection points in my life that absolutely changed the trajectory of that life.
Keep an open mind. I think that's really important because I feel like a lot of times people just see this is the track that everyone else is taking. I should follow that. And that might not be the right answer for you.
I would tell a Duke student that you spent your whole life achieving and doing really well based on your own focus and your own driven nature, and most of us think or thought that that meant we needed to figure out in college where we were going to go next. And figure out where you're going to go next, but it may not be where you end up, and that's okay.
I think skill set development is the foundation of the extraordinary life. The ability to influence others is a foundational sort of skill prerequisite for every profession, every industry, every role. Time management, being able to differentiate between important and unimportant tasks and making sure that the important stuff gets done at cost to the unimportant stuff. Communication, being able to communicate orally through the written word, and as a very important part of communication is listening, right? An absolutely critical skill for any industry profession role.
To be able to be analytical and to be able to communicate and to be able to write are skills that you need no matter what you do.
And just having a lot of different perspectives, even from all the different classes that you've taken, and me personally just like doing biology, but then also having an English background, I think that just really helps. You're well-rounded.
The ability to try to understand things you don't understand and break them down to their pieces, I think through a variety of different courses that I took here across multiple disciplines, it really helped you think about what's that common thing that makes this either challenging or not challenging. I'm very optimistic about the future. I think the reality for me, and I think for any student growing up today, is that the resources are limitless. And it really is a matter of trying to find the unconventional path to do things that nobody's ever done before.
The future for me, regret-free. I'm at a point in my life where I really understand who I am, I really understand what I want, and I'm doing it.
I mean, right now I have no idea. I mean, I plan on going back to graduate school, but after that I'm kind of thinking, you know what, so long as it's interesting, it's going to challenge me, why not?
What does the future feel like for me? This being my second career has taught me a lot. I love where I am, and I could see doing this forever, but the change that I made also opened my eyes to the fact that you can make a change, and you can keep developing, and you can keep growing.
Produced by Duke University. Online at duke.edu.